There's only 2 things you need to know to thrive in your season of singleness. And I'm going to tell you what they are. If you're anything like me, you might have a tendency to view this season of singleness as more of one of waiting. Well, that's the wrong perspective. Sorry, but it is. God's intended this season of your life to be one of freedom, fun, and fulfillment. But all too often, at least in my own life, it seems that the very season that God's intended for freedom becomes one of bondage. Why? Perspective. The problem is not that we're single, it's our perspective on being single. We get caught up in feelings of fear and doubt and comparison and jealousy and loneliness that we miss out on the freeing, joyful season that God has in front of us, right here, right now. When we get caught up in the negative thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life, and God just must want me to never find somebody, and I'm always gonna be alone, and we get caught up in that mindset. What we're actually doing is we're allowing our mindset to wrap around us and keep us in bondage in a season that God has called us to live freely in. So how do we change the perspective? Well, like I mentioned before, there's only 2 things you need to know. Number 1, enjoy life. Enjoy being around people you enjoy being around while enjoying stuff you enjoy doing. Don't allow what you don't have to keep you from enjoying what you do have. And before I move on to point number 2, let me just say, it's okay to want to be in a relationship. I want to be in a relationship, but I want to be in the right relationship. I want to be in the relationship that God has for me. Which brings me to point number 2. Seek God. Do life with God. Ask Him what His plans and His purposes are for you. Discover that. Dream big with Him and celebrate life with Him. And if you can't find something to celebrate, then ask Him to reveal it to you. Because God doesn't want you to be living in bondage or down and out in this negative mindset, but in one of joy and celebration. These 2 things, enjoying life and seeking God, may seem simple, but if we implement them into our own lives, they can have a profound impact. My friend, you are loved, you are valued, and you have purpose. You just have to keep on pursuing hope.